Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to another custom map battle for Total War Warhammer. Today we're going to be having a epic Tomb King 2 vs 2 against Manfred, who has invaded down south. He wants to go ahead and try and harness some of the Tomb King's powers, and we're obviously using the Tomb King mod along with a custom map, which both you'll be able to find links to both down below in the description. So if you want to go ahead and play on this map or play with this awesome Tomb King mod, which again is really impressed me, just the way that they've kind of used all the in-game assets to create a completely different faction. It's really impressive, and the modding community for Warhammer is just flourishing over and over again, and it's absolutely great. So what we'll do is we'll run through the army comps and then we'll go ahead and get started in the battle. If you guys want to skip straight to the battle, there'll be a timestamp in the description. Just go down there at the top of the description. There'll be a skip to battle line of text and then a timestamp. Just click the timestamp and you guys will get taken straight to the battle itself. Let's start off with Lionheart's army, who is defending this kind of left-hand side in between the two pyramids. And we've got my force making its way around this side of the pyramid, which you can see just marching down there looking great with our awesome legendary lord. So if we look at the Tomb King armies, we can see that on our front lines we have a mix of skeleton archers of Nehek. These guys are obviously going to make up our missile component, and it's actually going to be a really nice thing against vampire counts to have these skeleton archers, as obviously, as you guys know, the vampire counts don't have any missiles, so we can use our archers to kind of force the enemy to come towards us. Then we have some skeleton chariots, again looking great. These are obviously the chaos kind of like I guess chariot and like whip and stuff like that. And then we've got some horses with some skeletons on there. Then behind that we have some Tomb Guard making up the heavy elite infantry for the Tomb Kings. I believe he also has a set of these Tomb Guard halberds. Oh, we got some missiles coming in already as the Isabella does shoot out some missiles. Didn't really do too much, so don't worry so far. We've also got the archer shooting, so let's stick it on slow-mo actually. We don't want to miss much of the action, but all you're missing is just this skeleton archer or bone archer just shooting off a few shots. But obviously we've got Hero Titan, who is the main lord, legendary lord, or main lord for this faction. And as you can see, he has so much HP. I think he has 11,000 in total, which is just absolutely insane. But as we make our way back, we have some mummies. Again, they've done a really nice job here, kind of making these zombies larger and kind of stripping away the textures and stuff. I think that does look really cool. They kind of used book textures almost from the flagellants, you know, when they've got the stuff like pinned to themselves. They've kind of used them textures. Then we have an awesome looking bone giant archer right here, just shooting out his ballista bolt right now. And I mean, he does some serious damage, and he's going to be trying to pin down Isabella as she's kind of casting some magic as she moves forward. But we've got 2 units of bone giants melee units here. We've also got a screaming skull catapult right here. And I think these guys have some pretty nice animations. We'll quickly just run over my army. Like, I won't really take long looking at stuff because you've already just seen them. I have 2 units of skeleton archers. I have an entire line of skeleton warriors of Nehek. Then I've got some Tomb Guard behind them with golden experience. Behind them I've got 2 units of Tomb Guard halberds, who are really good at anti-large, 2 bone giants and a bone giant archer with a screaming skull catapult. Obviously I've got the same lord because he's the only one we can actually bring right now, but I mean, he does look pretty goddamn impressive, that is for sure. And then I also have a set of 2 units of these skeleton horses. Now let's quickly jump over and look at the enemy army, see what we're up against, and then obviously we'll get started. So in the army taking part of the von Karstein house of Isabella, we have an entire line of Grave Guard. It's going to be kind of cool. We're going to see some skeleton versus skeleton. Who's going to be the strongest skeleton force? It's going to be interesting. So we've got an entire line of Grave Guard, and as we make our way back, we have 2 units of skeleton spears on either flank. So we've got one over here and one over on this left flank. Accompanying them, we have a set of Black Knights with Lancers. These guys are going to be great at smashing down enemy large, so our bone giants, these guys are going to be having to focus down. Then behind that, we have a load of Calm Wraiths, I think is how you pronounce that, with golden experience. So he's definitely sticking a ton of his money into these units and hoping that they do well for him. So he's got 3 units of them. Then we've got some bats along with some Vargeist and some Terrorgeist back there, even though that's in a different part of the army actually. Then obviously we also have a Vampire of the Shadows. But as we make our way back, we have some Grave Guard in the other army of Manfred. We've got again the main line making up of vampires. Then we also have some Grave Guard with great weapons, along with some more zombies. 2 units of zombies, more Grave Guard, more Grave Guard. We've got the Regiment of Renown Graveyard here, the Sternman, who I don't actually see too often in battle. I guess I just don't really get to see the vampire counts too often in battle, but you have some glorious units right here. They look very, very cool. I don't really get to see that unit too often. Some more Grave God with great weapons. Back here we have 2 units. I'm not really sure why they're all the way back here, but we have some Blood Knights and some Black Knights with great weapon, or with Lancers back there. Then as we go over, we have some more Calm Wraiths. We have a ton of Vargeist and a Terrorgeist as well over here. Is Manfred on his... What's Manfred on? Is Manfred just on a Hellsteed? He is just on a Hellsteed, so he's not on a Terrorgeist, which is surprising to see. Then finally, as we make our way over here, we'll go ahead and click play now. We can see that we do have some more Vargeist and a Terrorgeist on this right flank. And then kind of flanking all the way around, which is actually, I guess, a pretty smart move, trying to get back here, because he can fly over the pyramid itself. We can go ahead and see that we've got the Devils of Schwarzenhof right here, a regiment of renown of Vargeist. So the map itself is pretty interesting. It's kind of got this open area right here, which I guess the main battle will fight over. But we're going to be fighting in between this oasis and these 2 pyramids, so it should make for a really, really good looking battle. I mean, already that does look absolutely, well, that does look really, really cool just seeing it. So as you can see, if we're going to start the battle off here, we can see that my forces are making their way around. I'm trying to get my skeleton archers up here as soon as possible. I've got my tomb guard following in hot pursuit right now, along with the basic skeleton swords. Following them, but just behind them, we have the halberds, and then the bone giant and the bone giant archer as well, who are making their way up. And then finally, in reserve, I have my screaming skull catapult making their way up. So I'm just kind of walking these guys up, but I mean, just look how amazing this map looks right now. It really is nice seeing people starting to actually make maps for the Tomb Kings. You know, we're starting to get a bit of a few of the Tomb Kings. Oh, look at that right now. We're starting to get a few Tomb King like faction stuff now, and it's really cool to see that people are making maps of them already. Because I mean, that does look great. Just the sheer scale of this is amazing. So I'm going to be pushing my force up here. You can see where I'm making my kind of stand. We want to kind of lure the enemy armies into kind of picking one of us, and then the other army is going to swoop round and smash them in the side. Because holding these choke points is going to be great for us. Again, if we go on top of a pyramid, we can get a nice little look down. We can just about see that. If we press K, it'll probably give us a better idea. It's a bit misty, but we can just about see it as the enemy forces are getting ready to line up. Again, my forces are making their way to the oasis. Lionheart does decide to come a little bit closer, and he obviously has to be extremely careful of them Vargeist, which we can currently see moving around our flanks. We can't let them get on us. I think the Screaming Skull catapults are going to be in range any second now. And again, it's unfortunate that they can't shoot out like skulls or anything like that. That'd be sick if they could. Unfortunately, that the modders have not made that. Obviously, they have to only use assets which are currently in the game. So it does suck, but it is still cool nonetheless, as we get ready to fight in these pyramids. So you can see the Bone Giant Archer has actually moved all the way up. Is he just chilling here? Or is he going to fall back now? I think he's going to end up falling back because he doesn't want to get caught out in the open, which definitely does make sense. The majority of my forces are about to move up, and this is when the enemy are going to seize the opportunity just to charge forward with as much as they physically can. So there is a bit of maneuvering in this battle, but obviously once it does kick off, we'll get to see all the Bone Giants fighting hard. You can just about see my legendary Lord there as well. And more and more of my soldiers moving up to go ahead and fill the ranks of our forces. I really love the general units as well for these soldiers. I think they look great. Like this dude right here, I think looks absolutely sick. Like a proper captain. Even though it's kind of weird, you know, to promote like a skeleton to captain. It just seems such a weird concept. Like, you will lead these skeletons to battle. They do definitely look vicious. So how is the enemy army doing? Are they getting ready to approach us quite yet? I guess we can go ahead and stick it on triple speed for now, just so we speed up to the battle, because we've kind of seen the deployment. This is pretty much where we are going to make our stand. So what I'll do is I'll cut it to when the enemy do get a little bit closer and are ready to charge us down. The enemy is fast approaching now, and Lionheart has moved up into a much better position to kind of just thin out our lines a little bit, so we are a bit more connected. I'm charging up now to get ready to engage. I don't want to leave Lionheart by himself. The enemy Vampire Count Lord has decided to move some Svargeist behind our lines, which is obviously going to be doing a nice amount of harassment. We've got a Bone Giant pipping out his arrows, which are basically just like mini ballista shots, and he's going to be unleashing as many hits as he can. I believe the rest of the archers are now shooting as well, trying to pin down some of these flying units, but they're going to be hard. The Vampire Counts look like they are pushing in a ton of soldiers into range of the archers, and that's a beautiful net by Lionheart's mage right there, by his lord. And that's going to allow a ton of shots to be taken out on these Vargeist, whittling them down. We need as many as possible to go down. But Lionheart is going to decide to retreat his soldiers, which I guess does make sense, to try and focus down the threat which is coming behind him. He is already taken down one, but by the looks of it, one of them did get taken down by this ballista shot. How is the second going to do? This big one going to go in along with the rest of the archers, and that's going to whittle down another Vargeist, which is great news. If we go ahead and take a look over on this flank now, you can see that I am starting to get some shots off on the enemy lines, trying to whittle down their spearmen here. I think the majority of these spearmen are just here, though, to try and slow me up and keep my forces a bit occupied. The rest of my forces are all whittling down right here. You can see that the enemy has decided to charge in against Hero Titan and the rest of the Screaming Skull catapults and all the missiles. And these Vargeist are going to be having a great time against all of the missiles. The Skeleton Archers, the Skeleton Archers of the Heck aren't going to stand a chance against these guys. And they're going to be getting ripped apart not only by the Vortex, but by the Vargeist as well. The Bone Giant Archer is in combat right now, along with the rest of the forces. And we're going to go in slow-mo now, just so we can go ahead and not miss any of the action. So we'll go ahead and do this right now, and watch some of the Blood Knights. Oh, the Blood Knights look so goddamn clean, as that Bone Giant just comes charging in against them, sending these current rays back behind the lines of the rest of their foes. And that was crazy. Just one hit right there did so much damage. Focusing down these Bone Knights is a necessity in this battle, that is for sure. We've got the Terrorgeist making its way to the front line, along with the rest of the infantry. A really nice net here by Lionheart. However, he doesn't really get ready to follow up with anything, which is unfortunate. Maybe if I had my mage over here, that would have been great. I'm going to be sending over some of my halberds to help out. They are anti-large, so they're going to be a good unit to focus down the enemy lines. My skeleton horsemen are going to be charging into the Black Knights with lancers. And I think they're going to be losing this engagement. However, I'm going to be following up with some infantry as soon as I can, bringing back my archers. Obviously, also have my Bone Giant right here as well, who's going to be shooting off as many shots as he can into killing these Black Knights. I'm kind of almost okay with losing these two units of skeletons just to take out the unit of Black Knights, because the unit of Black Knights is much superior to my main line. If we go ahead and watch the rest of the battle unfold on normal speed for now, we can go and see the infantry is just trying their best to take down this Bone Giant. Hero Titan on Lionheart's side is completely bloody, and we also have a Terrorgeist coming in. But you can just see there's so many dead Vargeist here. The mummies are making their way over, and they're going to be smashing in. They're almost actually the same size as the Vargeist, which is awesome to see. The Bone Giant Archer is going to be helping out his fellow lord. And I mean, they're going to be doing plenty of damage to the lines. The infantry has now clashed, which is great to see. We've got some of these skeleton warriors, the Tomb Guard actually fighting up against zombies. The zombies obviously going to be no match. However, it's going to be a much harder fight down this flank, as we have the Grave Guard fighting against the Tomb Guard. It's going to be who's the best at guarding. That is the question, and I guess the question will be answered. We do have the rest of my forces turning up, though, to help out. The chariots are moving in, trying to rip through the Grave Guard lines as best I can. I am going to give out a command order to charge up against the enemy lines. So we have some of my Tomb Guard, some of the enemy, yeah, no, this is my Tomb Guard. Some of my Tomb Guard, oh, this guy's lost his head and he's still fighting, that was awesome. So my Tomb Guard up against his Grave Guard, and we're going to hopefully see who does come out on top. My Bone Giant just charging in there, causing a horrific amount of damage. Again, if we go in slow-mo and just watch this Bone Giant just tear apart the Grave Guard. These Bone Giants are so ridiculously OP, and I feel like when they come to like balance this mod out a bit more with the other factions, then these Bone Giants are definitely going to be getting nerfed, because my god do they do damage. Or at least make them super, super expensive, that when you do get them in the campaign, it's just really, really hard to use them. But oh my god, look at that leap, look at that goddamn leap, and it just smashes down, sending these Grave Guard flying. The rest of the cavalry is going to be getting pushed out over here, which is pretty bad news to me, because I don't really have a lot of soldiers over here getting ready to push back the enemy advance. We can see that my Tomb Guard are fighting the Calm Race, which I don't really know how that's going to go, because the Calm Race are armor piercing, but I don't really have a lot of armor, so my soldiers might be doing okay, but there are a lot of dead skeletons laying on the ground here. I'm not sure if they're mine or if they're the skeleton spearmen, if I'm honest. I guess we can tell by the shields. Pretty much all my cavalry has been defeated now, and this cavalry is going to be making a beeline through this gap to hit my missiles back here, who I'm trying to turn away. If we go back to the main engagement, we can see that the lines are pretty equal right now. Obviously, we have Isabella charging down on her Hellsteed, supporting her soldiers, and that's obviously going to go in her favour. However, everywhere else is looking pretty even, if you ask me. I managed to do a load of damage down here against this Graveguard unit. The chariots are definitely helping out as well along here. We've got my general who's up to full health. The bone giants are just going in right now. They are giving no mercy. And back here, we still have a ton of reserves. I have my 2 units of halberdiers who are just sitting back here waiting to be pushed into combat whenever I do see fit. I'm going to be popping a vortex spell here as I see a big clump of enemy soldiers. So we're going to click play and watch this vortex spell go off. And it's just going to rip up these Blood Knights and try and do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, it doesn't go the best way I would like it to go, but it does still do a nice amount of HP damage and kind of forces the rest of the units to get into combat. The Terrorgeist is still alive, fighting hard. However, the Halberdiers are the best unit to be fighting them, and I'm going to be sending my Halberdier unit over as soon as I get the chance. My general is going in now as well. Hero Titan is going to go true to his name and start smashing away the enemy ranks underneath the pyramid itself, which again just looks so goddamn great. Soldiers are fighting hard. But I mean, he just does so much damage. He's so powerful, especially when he jumps into battle like that. He literally is like Sauron. He's just so strong. The main battle line, you can see that the Graveguard are probably coming out top here against my Tomb Guard. I think the Graveguard are a bit stronger than our main line. However, Lionheart is just doing so much damage. If we press K, we can really see that Lionheart is just overwhelming the enemy forces. He's got a perfect surround going on here against the Graveguard and the zombies who are in the midst of these guys. The skeleton warriors of the Tomb Guard are just surrounding the Graveguard, along with the chariots as well. It's just acting too much. I get a nice banish off because Hero Titan actually does have the spells of light as well as death, so he's kind of got a really nice mix. Is the Terrorgeist dead? I think the Terrorgeist has actually gone down, or is it just... No, the Terrorgeist is still alive. It's just trying its best to fight this bone giant and kind of failing. I believe the general has died for... I think Manfred has been slain on the battlefield, which is why you're seeing this crumble mechanic going on. And the bone giants are just filling them off, and the entirety of the enemy force is going to crumble to death. The Terrorgeist is still alive, but is fighting the bone giant, who's going to be taking some amazing swings off at the Terrorgeist. I can't imagine it has much HP left. No, it does not have any HP left because it has just died. And then the final engagement as we move around to slay Isabella. Some raised dead has just occurred. However, I do have a bone giant here along with my general, and these guys are going to be more than enough. So the Tomb Kings are going to come out on top of this battle. You can see we are just cleaning off the rest of the enemy forces. So the Tomb Kings are extremely strong. However, there is going to be a famous last... Oh my god, look at that! They're about to charge into the back of my lines and they crumbled. Holy crap, that was so amazing. That was hilarious. They were about to charge in and just annihilate my unit, and they all just crumble. The Blood Knights getting in, but that was not to be enough of them. So yeah, the Tomb Kings are pretty OP at the moment. I really hope they do kind of balance them out with the other factions. I think their main goal with this first patch was just to solely get the Tomb Kings out and let people play around with them, and then obviously balance them a little bit later on. When they have a bit more data on the units and stuff. So I do expect the Tomb Kings to get balanced a bit, but you can just see, look how few men we lost. We have the same money in this battle, and I mean, we lost like 700 soldiers, and they lost almost 3,000. So the Tomb Kings are definitely really strong. You can see the Bone Giants getting 100 plus kills, my General getting 100 plus kills, my infantry doing really good, even the Skeleton Archers doing pretty impressive right there. My Catapult didn't do good, and my Cavalry got slaughtered. Look at Manfred's army, we can see what Vargeist doing good. Terrorgeist really not standing up to much, and neither was his infantry. That was pretty bad by the infantry. And if we look at the other Vampire Count army of Isabella, we can see the Graveguard over here doing really well, getting 100 kills plus, but these two just got annihilated. I wonder what they must have got killed by. The Black Knights and the Blood Knights doing really well, along with this unit of Vargeist doing okay, I guess, getting 30 kills. Probably would want more on that unit, and Isabella getting 63, which is okay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. It was a little bit short, but it was still fun nonetheless to play a proper 2 vs 2 Tomb King battle against a Vampire Council. It's pretty cool. Let me know down below in the comments what factions you want to see next in an online battle, and if there's any maps you want me to play, then please feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.